You must be wondering why I'm looking like this. Well, it's actually a very funny story. So, Transformers. Robots from outer space engaged in a war that's been raging for billions of years, capable of transforming into amazing alternate forms. Cars, planes, that thing your wife keeps in her drawer because you cannot satisfy her anymore. The franchise has been going strong for over 40 years with numerous iterations, some good, some great, some stupid, and some so egregious that a large part of the fanbase would rather not acknowledge it. So, last night I was talking to my wife, and she was telling me how stupid Transformers is. Not only are the characters giant robots that transform into microscopes and radios, but they also have the dumbest names. When I heard that, I yelled, "Objection!" so loud that all the windows in the neighborhood reverted back to being sand, and then I started listing every Transformer and explaining how their names made sense considering what they were and their abilities. I kept my wife awake until 3 a.m. and now I'm gonna do the same to you. Oh, as if you had anything better to do with this time that is on the screen of your life. So, let's start with the Autobots. Why are they called that? Because, as Optimus Prime explained in the first Michael Bay disaster, they are autonomous robotic organisms from planet Cybertron. Yes, indeed! Moving on to the characters, starting with Optimus Prime himself. Well, Optimus derives from Latin, where it means the best one, or excellent, or superior. Prime comes from the Latin word primus, which is also the name of the god creator of the Transformers, but we're not touching that today, which means the first, or the one of greatest importance. Combining the two, we have something akin to the first one and the best one. Considering he was the first major Autobot to unify his peers in battle against the Decepticons, and also that he is the noblest and strongest of the Autobots, well, I think we need no further explanation. Bumblebee has that name because he's small and yellow. You know what else is small and yellow? A bumblebee! Also, in some incarnations he has the ability to sting like a Muhammad Ali, so there is that. Ironhide is an old veteran, a dude that went through a lot and got hardened because of his experiences. In other words, he grew tougher skin, or since he's a robot, an iron hide. Ratchet is a doctor. He fixes his friends who are not only robots, but also cars. Tell me the name of one tool that can be used to fix cars. Exactly, a ratchet. Jazz got his name from the fact he loves Earth music and also because he's one of the coolest cats to ever wear a set of wheels, just like jazz players in real life. Cliff Jumper is called that because he is the one to jump head first into dangerous missions, ones that probably won't allow his safe return. If Optimus says, "We need someone to call Brock Lesnar a pussy," Cliff Jumper is the first one to raise his hand and say, "I volunteer!" Wheeljack is an inventor. He builds things such as machines that build catapults. Many of his creations are monstrosities that need to be lifted in the air so he can work under them. What kind of tool can be used to lift huge machinery? A wheeljack! Prowl transforms into a police car. Hence, he's an agent of justice, one that prowls the streets after criminals and evildoers. Hound is a tracker, a hunter. Once he gets a sniff of his prey, he never lets it escape, like a hound dog or a Lannister bodyguard. Inferno is a fire engine and a fireman, bot, amongst the Autobots. From his name, you'd be excused for thinking he's the guy who sets your house on fire instead of putting it out. I mean, his name made a lot more sense when they used it on Beast Wars Inferno. He was a fire ant and a total nutcase with a flamethrower. So, let's move on. Grappo is like Inferno. And when I say that, I mean he is a retool of Inferno. If you don't know what a retool is when Hasbro took an old toy and changed enough of it to sell it as a completely new thing. Yes, it's a dirty trick, and we fell for it all the time as kids. So, Grappo is pretty much Inferno's twin, only instead of one of those retractable ladders that firemen love so much, he has a grappling hook to hang things with. Hence Grappo. Sideswipe is a cool dude, one that can race and slide better than other bots. Like he can sideswipe? Huh? 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 In other news, I was once part of a Transformers Discord server, and one dude posted a pic of a sideswipe toy from the Generations line he found at the park, buried in the dirt. He asked the other members of the group what were good ways of cleaning and restoring the figure. People started giving him suggestions when I suddenly chimed in with, "Some kid cried a lot after losing that toy." And then all people could talk about was how bad they felt for the boy to whom that sideswipe used to belong. Just wanted to tell you the time that I ruined the day of an entire Discord server. Sunstreaker is vain like a female Disney villain. He likes to polish his body to perfection until it reflects the sun and the light streaks the eyes of his enemies. Wow, that was poetry, man. Cosmos transforms into a fat UFO, which grants him the ability to explore the universe and get embroiled in cosmic shenanigans, like fat people usually do. Perceptor is a doctor and a scientist, and transforms into a microscope. Forget how little sense that makes. What matters here is that, with his lenses, he can perceive things others cannot. Ultra Magnus chose that name so no one would realize he is an actual piece of shit that doesn't deserve respect, friends, or love. RC is a cute robot waifu, and she has that name because it is a cute name perfect for a cute robot waifu. Cup is a pickup truck. Get it? If he was human, he'd be grilling meats on his own YouTube channel. Gears is one foul-mooded robot, almost as if everything grinds his gears all the time. Huffer is just like Gears, except he huffs and puffs all the time, so frustrated he is with the idiots he has to deal with on a daily basis. Brawl is the kind of guy you see at a bar and think, that dude is a problem. Yeah, the guy who just sits in the corner at the bar and uses any excuses to start a brawl and ruin everyone's night. Outback is like Brawl, except he's from Space Australia, which makes him 10 times worse. Powerglide transforms into one of those stupid little aircrafts that glide more than they fly. He's also one tough little cookie. So tough, in fact, a human girl once fell in love with him. No, really, that is one of the best episodes of G1. Sea Spray is a hovercraft, a vehicle that sprays water everywhere when it moves. And since the character is an idiot who speaks as if he was underwater all the time, Optimus told him to patrol the seas. Also, he fell in love with a mermaid. G1 had a lot of inter-robot species relationships. Blaster transforms into a boombox and blasts insufferable music as loud as he can. Springer is a triple changer who can transform into an ugly helicopter and a hideous car. Since he can spring into both a terrestrial form or an aerial one, or into action just as easily I'm stretching, I got nothing here. Hot Rod is a hot rod car. One of those extremely customized vehicles people from the Fast and the Furious universe usually ride before babbling about family and oogling the token trophy girl who's always present in those movies. Hoist is a big dumb truck that can use his big dumb hook to hoist and carry things. He was named after what he can do. Imagine being named fried egg because that's the only thing you can do in life. And not even properly, you always mess up the yolks. Warpath transforms into a tank, a vehicle normally used in wars and occupied by soldiers. What do soldiers do when they are partaking in wars? They go on warpaths. Oh, and I know what you're thinking. No, he's not happy to see you. Beachcomber is named like that because he is a filthy hippie who would rather spend his days at the beach smoking Spider-Man's former wife than helping his friends with the war effort. Grimlock is the leader of the Dinobots. He can transform into a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or at least something that was perceived as a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the 1980s before real science ruined everything for everyone. And while fighting favors his powerful bite, locking his enemies in between his teeth, causing their prospects for the future to become green. Dude, I'm on fire today. Slag is a very offensive way to refer to a broad in England. Considering how crass this Tricerabot is, I believe he would use such a term to refer to every female around him if he were human and a British. Sure, nowadays they call him Slug because Hasbro wants to sell toys in the land of King Arthur without causing problems. So we can deduce his new name comes from the fact he is dumb. Or, in other terms, he is as low as a slug. Snarl, also big, strong, and dumb. One can imagine he's so stupid he snarls at people more than he talks to them. Sludge, another large and stupid thing, named after the fluid he leaves behind every night after watching online videos. Swoop, the pterodactyl. Oh, yeah, they're not called pterodactyls anymore, it's pteranodon now. The P is silent. Swoop the pteranodon, who can fly and swoops at the enemy every chance he gets. Simple and stupid, just like every Dinobot. Omega Supreme is an enormous bot designed to crush his enemies, to see them driven before him and hear the lamentation of the bot women. Henceforth, Omega represents the end of his enemies, and Supreme the fact that he is the de facto damnation of all Decepticons. Why Optimus doesn't just unleash him against Megatron and the others and win the war, I'll never understand. Speaking of Megatron, time to explain the names of a few Decepticons because I can't remember any other Autobots off the top of my head now, and I am not browsing TF Wiki today. So, Megatron. Well, Mega comes from Greek and means powerful, enormous, gigantic, and also sounds very strong. On the other hand, Tron, not the movie, also from Greek means tool or instrument. So, combining these two words, we have something akin to powerful instrument or an instrument of destruction. Also, Megatron just sounds incredibly dangerous, which is very fitting for the main villain. Starscream transforms into a jet, can fly into the stars, as jets do, and has a very screechy voice. Almost like his vocal systems were permanently set to Marilyn Burns. Soundwave transforms into a boombox radio and is the Decepticon chief of communications. I mean, do I really need to explain any further? Rumble can transform his arms into pistons and cause earthquakes whenever he hits the ground with them. What is an earthquake other than the rumbling of tectonic plates? Frenzy is pretty much the same, only in red. I am not going to debate. Don't even try it. Ravage is a ferocious cat robot that stalks his prey and ravages it as soon as he has it in his claws. Never on TV, however. We have to make this PG. Wait for the movie to show traumatizing deaths to the kids. Laserbeak is a condor that shoots laser from his eyes? Wait, this can't be right. Wait, he never shoots from his beak. Whatever. I bet he can cut anything with his beak as if it was made of laser, so there. Thundercracker transforms into a jet and flies so fast he can not only break but explode the sound barrier and cause sonic booms that sound as terrifying as thunder. Suck that peach, Guile! Skywarp flies and teleports. I mean, come on, give me a challenge here. Ramjet has the terrible habit of ramming things with his head, like Homer on that episode with the elephant. He is also a jet, something made not to ram at things, but here we are. Dirge gets that name because he dies. A lot. Trust is also a jet, and what does a jet do? It thrusts. Shockwave gets his name from his sheer power, absolute and unquestionable, so fierce that any action he takes sends shockwaves towards everyone and everything. But only in the Marvel comics. He's a total pushover in the cartoon. Astro Train can transform into a choo-choo train, hence the last part of his name, and also into a space shuttle, hence the first half of his name. He's also a regular-sized robot that, when he transforms into a vehicle, is big enough to carry the entire Decepticon army inside him. Yeah. Blitzwing derives from the German word Blitzkrieg, which means, let's go over there and kill all those f***ers. Appropriate, since he transforms into a tank, but he can also assume the form of a jet. That's why Krieg was replaced with Wing in his name, because he can kill all those f***ers from the skies as well as from the ground. Now, two of my favorite Decepticons, a couple of guys who always work together, they are called Like and Subscribe. They got their names because they are the reason you like this video and subscribe to my channel. You did that, right? Right? Galvatron then. And follow me here because this one is a doozy. So there was this dude called Luigi Galvani, an Italian scientist who studied animal electricity. And how did he do that, you ask? In a perfectly normal and not psychopathic way. By delivering electric shocks into deceased toads and going all, "See, it moved as I shocked it. I am a genius. Mamma mia." So, the word Galva can be related to something that is, through science, reanimated. Galvatron is a reanimated Megatron, so we have that connection here. Then, there is the Tron of the name. We already studied Tron, which means tool or instrument. So, we can assume that his name signifies the reanimated instruments of destruction. Scourge has this name because he is a cunt, a fucker. And his mom is ashamed of him. Cyclonus is just a cool name. I mean, I would call myself Cyclonus if I could. Can you imagine the kind of action a guy at a fraternity will get if he's named Cyclonus? I mean, dude, cross your arms, go stand at a corner with a frown, and just wait for all the girls to come crawling at you, demanding attention, and when they ask your name, you say, Cyclonus. Huh? Huh? And you do that, ladies. You know you do. You'd bang Venom if you had the chance. You'd be head over heels for a Cyclonus. Don't get mad at me for pointing out facts. So, let's talk about the Constructicons, who are blue-collar people amongst the villains, even though they're green. Long-Haul transforms into one of those stupid trucks you can put things on, and he can carry those things for a long time. He can perform long hauls. Get it? Hulk has a hook and is a minimalist, apparently. Mixmaster is an alchemist, and he can mix any kinds of materials inside his drum, from pina coladas to I don't know the names of any other alcoholic beverages that need to be mixed, so I'm moving on. Bone Crusher is one tough SOB that crushes bones of anyone in his... Wait, Transformers don't have bones. How did he get his name? Do they even know what bones are? Scrapper is a hoarder who collects scrap, as if he was in a Fallout Scrounger playthrough. There is also a Transformer called Scrounger, but we're not talking about him today. Scavenger stinks like a vulture, or at least I'm gonna run with that, because another explanation for his name would be that he eats his companions after they die. There is at least one comic book where Transformers are eating each other, so no, that's not a stretch. And finally we have Devastator, who got his name from his ability to deliver floral arrangements in very delicate patterns. And this is it for today. I am sorry I wasted your time this afternoon, or morning, or evening, but what matters is that I made no children cry as I recorded never mind. So this is it for now. I'll be back very soon with a less stupid video. I hope. Until then, take care of yourselves and everyone you love. Cheers!